Coming up, another deadly accidental shooting involving children.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. A death investigation is underway in Whitley County tonight after the sheriff says a young child shot and killed a 2-year-old. Whitley County Sheriff Bill Elliott is the lead investigator on this shooting. He says the victim, a 2-year-old, was shot in the head by a 3-year-old this morning. He also says the two toddlers, while not siblings, were related to one another. Elliott says this happened inside a home on Martin Road just outside Corbin city limits. The sheriff says they believe a handgun was left out on top of a refrigerator. Around 10 Thursday morning, the 3-year-old allegedly crawled onto a stool and then up onto a cabinet to reach it. Crews rushed the 2-year-old to Baptist Health Corbin, where he later died. Sheriff Elliott urges parents to educate children about guns and to safely store them away.
If you've got a gun locker, put them in the gun locker. If you can't, lock them in a bedroom or a closet. And at least if you can't, you think that child might be able to get to them, at least unload them. This is just such a tragic accident, but there's ways to prevent these things.
The sheriff says they will bring the findings of the investigation before Commonwealth's Attorney Ronnie Bowling and leave it to him to decide whether or not to bring charges against anyone. The victim's name has not been released. Also in Whitley County, we know the name of a man who died in a crash. The crash happened on US 25 between Williamsburg and Corbin. The Whitley County coroner says the driver, 79-year-old Dillard Angel, was driving north when he left the road and went into an embankment. It happened at the intersection of Angel Road. He died at the scene. Only one vehicle was involved. A trial date is set for a former Eastern Kentucky prosecutor accused of murdering his wife. 49-year-old Donald Kyle Deskins was indicted last week for the murder of Judith Deskins in 2021. The former assistant Pike County attorney is also charged with evidence tampering. A trial date was set for July 2024. The Lexington Herald-Leader reports his bond was also lowered from $250,000 to $100,000. If he posts bond, Special Prosecutor Anthony Skeen says he will be put on home incarceration.
Well, after showers earlier today, we are starting to welcome in some drier air across the mountains to close out your Thursday. Let's take a look at the radar right now. You can see those clouds are starting to clear as that drier air works in behind this cold front that is parked over the Kentucky, Virginia, also West Virginia border, but that will continue pushing off to the east as we go into tonight. So quiet weather does continue, so be sure to enjoy it because more rain chances are on the way by Friday, also into the weekend. Those temperatures not bad tonight, upper 60s and lower 70s, 70 for Somerset, 71 for Jackson, and 68 for Manchester. Also here in Perry County, down to 68 at this hour. Those lows falling into the middle 60s as you wake up on Friday. Again, we do stay dry tonight, but we are watching out for some changes as early as tomorrow as more spotty rain chances are possible. Those temperatures back in the middle 80s on Friday, and more rain chances into this weekend, plus a new Category 5 hurricane in the Atlantic Ocean. So a busy forecast continues, Steve. All those details coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Cameron, thanks. In-person sports betting is now officially up and running in Kentucky, and it's been a busy day for sports books. Grayson Passmore spent the evening talking with folks at the Red Mile in Lexington. She has more on some of the bets people say they are placing tonight.
And the day is finally here for people to place their bets in person. And as you can probably tell from the noise and people behind us here, it's been a very exciting day at Red Mile.
Hard at work trying to figure out a winning parlay.
Kentucky lawmakers placed the very first bets in the Commonwealth at Caesar Sportsbook in Lexington Thursday morning.
I think it's just a case of giving people what they want. And if you don't want to make a bet on sports, you don't have to come do it.
Senator Damon Thayer says legalizing sports betting in person and online will make the state competitive with the 36 other states where it's also legal.
I have not done this before. This will be my first time, so looking forward to it.
It didn't take long after the first sports bet was placed which was on the Super Bowl if you were wondering, that a steady stream of people then spent the day and evening placing bets of their own.
I'm going to bet on the NFL game tonight. I'm probably going to go Lions money line and just something small, something to get my foot in the water.
It could be across the board. It could be basketball, football, baseball, tennis, all in the same thing. So
there will be teasers, parlays, prompts, and 14 self-serve kiosks or 5-man tellers to place your wager. And of course, there will be help if you don't know what any of that means, but want to try your hand.
Hopefully it's pretty easy, but yeah, pumped for sure.
And later this month, you'll be able to place bets online too. But for the next few weeks, all of the fun will be happening right here. In Lexington, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
There are age restrictions to betting, and you have to be 21 to bet at the facility at the Red Mile. Sports betting is also underway in parts of southeastern Kentucky. Cumberland Run in Corbin and the Mint Gaming Hall in Williamsburg are partnering with DraftKings to provide retail sports betting at both locations, as well as mobile wagering when that comes online later this month. The mayors of Corbin and Williamsburg and the executive director of the Southern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce made honorary first bets earlier today. It's certainly been a long journey for Kentucky's General Assembly to legalize sports betting. A similar bill cleared the State House in 2022, but it did not get out of the Senate. And back in 2020, another effort fell short. There are 9 retail locations where bettors can place their bets in person. And again, online betting begins September 28th. You can register online now. The Martin County Solar Project will see its first wave of construction in the coming weeks. The program, a partnership between Eadlin Renewables, Savion Energy, and Martin County, is now building its construction team with Overland Contracting. The project construction is expected to start with 40 new jobs and end up bringing 350 openings by February, with plans to build a solar field that will provide power to Toyota.
The fact that we have finally got it to fruition and that it's going to have real impact in communities, helping out-of-work coal miners put food back on their table, helping their children build and create and accept the kind of jobs that means that they can realize their version of the American dream and the community they came up in, is almost overwhelming.
To find out more about the jobs and the project, find this story on our website. Internet access and connectivity are not new problems for people in our region, but there are some new solutions being made. Mountain Comprehensive Care Center is working to expand patients' access to telehealth by making some upgrades. WYMT's Madison Carmouche spoke to officials about their new partnership with Accelicom Fiber Solutions.
Mountain Comprehensive Care Center is giving its patients access to services they offer at all of their locations through telehealth, and their partnership with Accelicom is making that possible.
And having good internet means you can do telehealth. Without good internet, you cannot provide video services at all.
Accelicom CEO Brad Kilby says they are excited to be a part of internet expansion in rural parts of Kentucky.
They are in a lot of places, a lot of the more rural areas like Haddon. There's really no service there at all, but yet we've got these guys giving us a fiber circuit in that town, which is great.
MCCC Mental Health Director Christy Stiltner says telehealth is beneficial for several reasons, including travel times.
We have seen an increase like with our elderly population, because a lot of those clients don't want to travel or just aren't able to travel, so they can still connect with their therapist or their prescriber. So we're hoping it's something that does stay around, because it gives us the opportunity to reach a lot more people that we were unable to reach prior to telehealth.
Telehealth use has increased since the COVID-19 pandemic, and that's why Webb says this partnership was needed.
It gives us the ability to have multiple video sessions at the same time at locations or in between our locations. We do telehealth between locations as well, so doctors in Prestonsburg can see clients in Paducah or Pikeville or things like that.
Officials believe this partnership will improve patient care. In Prestonsburg, Madison Carmouche, WYMT Mountain News.
Patients who are interested in telehealth or traditional in-person services from Mountain Comprehensive Care can go to our website for more information. Apple is urging iPhone and iPad users to update their operating systems immediately. The company issued an update that fixes a vulnerability that hackers may already be exploiting. Experts say iPhone and iPad users should go to the settings menu on their devices. From there, select General, then Software Update. Tap Install to begin the update process. Officials with Kentucky Power say they are planning some outages in the Hazard area tomorrow morning. They say the outages will occur sometime between 5:30 and 6 tomorrow morning for businesses along the Hazard Bypass or Johnny Cox All-American Drive and around Hazard High School. Also, they plan residential outages in the same area beginning at 8 in the morning. Now, Kentucky Power says these outages should last no longer than 15 minutes. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, an American explorer trapped thousands of feet in a cave faces a difficult rescue.
Plus, we are watching out for spotty rain chances as we close out the work week. Those details coming up after this break.